Hi everyone. Today we are going to discuss the new chapter Natural Vegetation, and this is a very important chapter because questions they do come from here for, and I'll completely stick to the prelims perspective. So let us start. And I have marked, as you can see in the chapter, I just want to give you a glance. I have marked all the important points, and you can see more marking here, and some mnemonics also I have written here, some additional points updated. So everything which is relevant to this chapter, you will find it in these notes. And this is NCERT, and all the important additions, enrichment, whatever is needed, I have made here. And after the video, I'll make sure that if you need it, I'll make available the PDF also. So, and this is the Biosphere Reserve PDF. So let us begin with the concept, and I'm reiterating, I'll stick to the pre perspective. So firstly, what is natural vegetation? It means that when you see, the trees, the grasses, all the greenery that you see around, that forms natural vegetation, and it can be of many types. As you can see, I just want to show you a picture. As you can see here, that this is a very dense forest. It's a very dense forest, so you can see greenery. There is the canopy and all, so you can see greenery here like that. If I show you another picture, this is also greenery, right? This is also greenery, and further this is also greenery. Now you might wonder, how are they different? This is also greenery. The difference lies in the way they are present in nature. Some of them are so dense, some of them are less dense. In some place you won't find greenery at all, some place you won't find trees, you will rather find grass. So on the basis of that, we have classified the forests, we have given them different names, and provided, as you can see here, the location of India. The geography impacts, the geography will impact the vegetation, geography, the climate will impact the vegetation, and all these three forces work together: geography, climate, and vegetation. They are all interdependent on one another. So as you can see here, there are different types of forest. Here you'll find some other type of forest in the northern east area. In the western Ghats you'll find some other forest. In the central part you'll find some other forest. In the north and northwest you'll find some other kind of forest. So all this depends on the geography of that place and on the climate of that place. Okay, so this is the basic idea which we need to have. Now, I'm not an expert in this. I'm just explaining it the way I have learned it. I am also an aspirant like you. I'm not a expert faculty or like that. I'm also an aspirant. I have given so much of time in this chapter, and in NCERT, I think this is third or fourth time I'm going through this chapter, and I felt that I should be, whatever notes I have made, whatever enrichment I've done for the chapter, I should be sharing it with you all in case it can help. I'll be very happy. Even if one of you find it helpful, I'll be very happy. So that's why I am trying to bring it for you. Now, what is a natural vegetation? Here it refers to the plant community that has been left undisturbed over a long time. Okay, this is very important. This point is very important. It's undisturbed. That means if you say that in our houses we do have plants, right? We do have plants, and so many, like ferns also we have, different types of some smaller trees also we have in our house. Is it the natural vegetation? No, it is not natural vegetation. Natural vegetation means those who are undisturbed, they are growing on their own, they are adapting on their own, right? They are not being taken care of, so they are undisturbed over a long time. So it allows the individual species to adjust themselves to the climate and soil conditions as fully as possible. So when you left them undisturbed, when we leave them undisturbed, what happens is that, imagine that you are in a forest. Okay, now imagine that is a forest place, but there are no trees. You can just find soil here, and you know that there used to exist some forest here at some point of time. Now imagine what could have happened. That is, do you think that someone else must have come there to water the plants or something? No, the water must be coming in the form of rain. There is soil, there is the climate, there is the geography of that place. Geography involves everything. It involves soil as well as the climate and everything. So now the temperature, the humidity, everything must have impacted the growth of the trees there. So that is the natural vegetation, which natural, right? It's not human vegetation, natural vegetation, because it is growing by the aid of nature only. Nature is deciding the fate of the vegetation, right? It can be soil, it can be rain, it can be temperature, it can be humidity, it can be climate, anything, but nature is deciding the fate of the vegetation, right? We are not, humans are not deciding. No, nature is deciding the fate of vegetation. So it is left undisturbed for a long time. That forms the natural vegetation, right? And when it happens, they adjust themselves. We allow them that they should adjust to the climate and soil there by themselves. We are not giving them any fertilizer, we are not helping them by any aid. They are adjusting themselves, right, to the climate. Now India is a land of great variety of natural vegetation. If you see, right, if you look at the Himalayan vegetation here, these are the Himalayan vegetation here. We have not marked it because this is not a part of our country, but understand it in a wholesome way. This forms the Himalayan vegetation. Even from north to south also you'll have Himalayan vegetation. What is it that you find here? They have the temperate vegetation. Now here I'll pause for one moment, and I just want to tell one thing. So understand this point, that this shows the increase in altitude. Okay, this is the baseline, and as you move up, you're going up in height. So when you're going up in height, the temperature conditions will change, the climatic conditions will change, the pressure conditions will change, and similarly the vegetation here will be different from the vegetation here, very different. Mostly you'll find mosses and lichens here, right? Similarly, if I go like for the sake of latitude, this is the altitude, sorry, that moved. This is the altitudinal variation when height is increasing, right? And when in earth you move as the latitudes increase, that is known as latitudinal variation. So when you are in poles, the vegetation here will be very different from the vegetation you'll find in the equatorial region, then the tropical region, then the temperate region. The vegetation is going to be very different, right? So here, as you can see, that Himalayan heights have temperate vegetation because they are in the colder area. Remember, whenever there are colder area, you will never find tropical vegetation there. You'll only find the temperate vegetation. Okay, when I talk about the Western Ghats and Andaman Nicobar, they have the tropical rainforest. So as you can see, this is the Andaman and Nicobar and Western Ghats. They have the tropical rainforest. They have the, because one thing you need to understand, that from here Tropic of Cancer passes. Now this entire zone is a tropical zone, and this zone is a temperate zone or subtropical zone. Okay, this upper part is subtropical zone, or you can say the temperate warm zone, not cold but temperate warm zone, and this part is the tropical zone. So here you will mostly find the tropical kind of forest. In these areas you will mostly find the tropical kind of forest. So like this forms the tropical rainforest, this forms the tropical deciduous forest, this forms the tropical thorn forest, and this also forms the tropical rainforest. You will barely find any other type of forest here. This line ke niche everything forms the tropical forest. Of course you will find mangroves also, but mangroves also you'll find mostly in the tropical areas. Exceptions are always there, but mostly you'll find in the tropical areas. But if you go about here you'll mostly find the temperate vegetation. So at least here, because it's too cold here, you'll find the temperate vegetation. Then after this, in these parts, there is the tropical rainforest. This is deciduous forest, and this is the thorn forest, and mostly you'll find the desert here. Okay, so I hope you understand the basic understanding that Western Ghats, Andaman Nicobar, they have the tropical rainforest. The deltaic region, they have the tropical forest and mangrove. Deltaic region means where deltas are formed, right? Deltas are formed. I hope you understand what is delta, but let me just put it this way. So if like all the rivers which are coming like this, and they are forming tributary to Ganga river, right? And now they're forming a delta here. Delta means here they have the tributaries, here they will distribute, and they'll form a delta here. This is called a delta. Okay, in the deltaic regions, in these type of regions, you will mostly find the mangroves. Like this is a mangrove, this is a mangrove. So in the deltaic region, as it's mentioned, you will find the mangroves and the tropical forest. As you can see, yeah, tropical forest, mangroves here also, mangroves. So remember what we have read so far. In Himalayas we have temperate forest, in the Western Ghats and Andaman Nicobar we have tropical rainforest, in the deltaic regions we have mangrove forest and tropical rainforest. That's what we have read so far. I hope it's clear to you. Now, the desert and semi-desert area of Rajasthan, they are known for cacti. They have cactus, kata, right? And a wide variety of bushes and thorny vegetation. So in these areas, you will find mostly thorn forest. There are cactus, there are bushes, झाड़ियाँ type, ये सब यहाँ पे देखने को मिलेंगी. ठीक है. Now depending upon the variations in climate and soil, as I mentioned before, variations in climate, like the climate can be warm, the climate can be cool, and of course some other variations can be there. And then the type of soil, is the soil alluvial soil, is the soil a peaty soil, is it alluvial, is it black, is it laterite, is it red and yellow, any kind of variety of soil. Basis on that, what kind of nutrients are present in soil, all that, because that is also a concept related to the which is known as succession of species, where there is a pioneer species and then the succession happens. But that's a different concept in environment altogether, which we will link when we are studying for mains. Right now we need to understand that the climatic and soil variations leads to the different types of vegetation which changes from one region to another. So I hope you understand that when you are in the northern India and in the southern India, in the broader way, you'll find different type of vegetation, you'll find different type of climate, you will find different type of soil, right? So it varies. Now on the basis of the common features like predominant vegetation type and climatic regions, Indian forests are of following types. Basis on common features like the what kind of a vegetation do they have, what kind of climate is present. Basis on these two factors, I repeat again, basis on climate, basis on vegetation. Okay, what kind of climate is there, is it warm, is it cool, and what kind of a vegetation is there. The forests are divided into following types, right? Evergreen forest, deciduous forest, thorn, mountain, and swamp forest. So what is, how we are giving the name, that this forms the tropical forest or maybe the evergreen forest, this is a semi evergreen forest, this is a deciduous forest, this is a thorn forest. On the basis of what we are giving this classification? On the basis of the vegetation type. What we can see here, let's see, you go to someone's house. Now you see the, okay, this is a, you say this is a beautiful house, or this is a big house, or this is a modern house, or this is a small house, or this is an old fashioned house. You are seeing some characters, right? You are seeing some characteristics. So on the basis of that, when you visit to a place, you can see, oh, this type of forest looks, there are so many trees here. So you're noticing the type of vegetation, right? You're noticing the type of vegetation. Oh, I'm feeling so warm here. No, I'm feeling so cold here. You're noticing the climate there. And on the, of course, you're not going to check the soil. What you can feel and what you can see instantly is the vegetation and the climate. And on the basis of that, you're deciding, okay, this is that kind of forest. So when you move to a certain place, which is not, maybe from north to south you go, and you see, oh, I saw the same vegetation there, I felt the same climate there, that means this is also that type of forest. I hope you understand. On the basis of that, we have done the classification. Now in the next class, we'll start with the tropical evergreen and semi evergreen forest. I hope the introduction you must have understood. Thank you.